Okay, everyone, what you're looking at here is a FG100. It's a Honda, tiller, one of the small tillers that's been sitting around for many years. Last time we ran it wasn't running too good, so decided to clean the carburetor. I need to use this pretty soon, so I thought I'd clean the carburetor. So I got in here to do the air filter, and look at this. It's falling apart from sitting around, old air filter. So I went on Amazon to look for an air filter, and surprising to me, you can buy a whole kit for 12 bucks. All this was like 12, 13 bucks. Comes with 2 air filters, got hose, carburetor, spark plug, everything you need. Sure, this is probably going to be cheap stuff. But for 12, 13 bucks, I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to end up installing this carburetor just to see if it works, just for entertainment purposes. And if it works good, I'll leave it. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and clean this for the next time. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start here. Just want to show you, I already had this taken off. But you can see the filter. If it falls apart like this, you need a new one. So we're going to throw that in the trash. But basically the way you take these off, I'll just put it back on here. Like that, you squeeze this up here, pops off. Got little things, put at the bottom. You'll figure it out. Okay. So we're going to start taking this apart. You can see here's the choke. If you ever curious how it works, this is the choke. It chokes out the air, obviously. That's why it's called a choke. And that is 8 millimeters, not 10. All right, got the right tool now. So this has been sitting for many, many years. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty stanky. So since it's going to be stanky, and I'm working on a Honda, I'm wearing Kawasaki green gloves. Since it stinks, right? You get it? All right, let's see what happens here. I've never taken one of these apart before, so we'll see how it goes as we go. Just kind of go put them in order. All right, all that extra stuff from the filter, obviously we'll clean that out. All right, you got the O-ring here. Gotta make sure you don't lose that. That's gonna be very important. And you know what? I may end up trying to clean this one. I haven't decided. Can you see? Maybe not. So over here, taking off the throttle cable. Just loosen up the nuts as it pulls up. You're going to slide the cable. So it has the end here. You just slide out of the holder. Put that to the side. All right, I'm going to try to remove the fuel lines. The problem with this is it's probably going to be break. But the kit came with new fuel lines. I like to try to reuse these if I can, but they may end up breaking. Yeah, they're rock hard. This is probably not going to go well. But we'll try our best to see what happens. Because I'm sure these aftermarket fuel lines off Amazon, they're probably crap anyway. They only last a year, so that's why I want to try to reuse these. Trying to slide it off without grabbing it. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, that's pretty hard. We'll try to reuse it though. I need to look inside here, see if the filter's okay still. Got a little tiny clip here. Alright, so one thing just to note, the black one goes on the black attachment. Technically clear, it's not clear. The brown one goes on the brass. And just to note, so you don't get confused, both of these are brass. And you can see, now looking at it, these carburetors are not technically exactly the same. See how this one goes in 90 degrees, this one's straight down. I'm sure it will probably still work. This one has a fuel mixture screw. I guess we'll check that out in a minute. We'll see what the setting is. So just pointing that out. That's why I may just end up cleaning this one and give it a try. Alright, so let's look at this real quick. Alright, I do not see a fuel mixture screw or an air screw on this. Alright, this I'm not going to mess with. It came with a new gasket, but this one actually looks pretty good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is look into the fuel, because what I want to see, yeah, it's pretty nasty in there. I don't know if you can see in there. Like I said, this has been sitting a while. You can see the fuel filter inside there. But what I'm, oh man, that's stinky. You can't smell it. Whew, but I sure can. What I want to do is get that hose out to see if, man, that is stinky. I want to try to get the hose out and see if it's soft and falling apart. If it is, I'll just end up replacing it. Oh yeah, it's falling apart. Alright, this is what I'm trying to fish out of there. Yeah, that's really soft. We're gonna have to replace that. Yeah, that's nasty. Alright, so I'm gonna throw this back in here for now. We'll take all that off in a minute because that smells. Alright, so you see there wasn't much to taking the carb off. So now I'm going to take this thing apart. Just see what we see. Alright, so let's take this apart, just see what it looks like, what's inside here. This is the carb that came on it. It's probably going to be nasty. So we'll take off this. If you have to take this off, just a little primer. So I think I'm just going to put this $12 carb on because I got to use the fuel hoses and all the air filter, so I can't really send it back. See, the problem with this, me taking this apart, I'm not going to have gaskets for all this stuff. Can't get it apart. There we go. Alright, not much going on there. It's actually all clean inside. Got a diaphragm here. That seems to be okay. I hate to do this because I don't want to break the diaphragm. I don't see any cuts or anything in it. It comes out fairly easy. Doesn't look too gummed up. Oh, you can't see it, do it. Sorry. Doesn't look too gummed up in there.
I honestly thought this would be I thought this would be really nasty. It's been sitting for, who knows, 8 years. Alright, there's some crud. Yeah, you can see there's quite a bit of crud in there. There's a little filter on there, so I don't want to push too hard, but you can see it's all built up there. There's the thread in there. So obviously this needs to be cleaned out. So don't lose that spring. I'm going to set it down just like this. Guess I'll take that off. Yeah, you can see the rubber from the gasket. Alright, so I'm going to put this back together somewhat. Spring goes on there. If the new carburetor doesn't work, I'll come back and clean this one. Guess I'll do another video on that just to show cleaning it. Not sure if this is going to work 100%. Like I said, this one has a fuel mixture screw, so I'll have to adjust that once we get it running. Also, the cable adjustment has this bracket on here. However, on this unit, it has a built-in bracket here for the cable. So I'm going to take this off. Yeah, I'm going to take this off and then use the one that's on this. Also, we got to remove this gas tank, so I guess we'll do that because I got to replace these fuel lines. One thing to point out, there's 2 fuel lines, and the kit came with 2 fuel lines. And just to show you, which you probably can't see, the bottom one has a larger inner diameter, and this one, the top one here, is a smaller one. So as you can see, the one down here, the black hose, which no longer is going to be black, it was the bigger diameter. And then you got the smaller diameter on the other one. So just make sure you put the right hose on there. I'm sure you'll figure it out when you go through it. But let's go and take this off. And then once I get this off, we'll go ahead and do the fuel tank. And like I said, the only reason I'm taking this off, and gotta do this. Alright, gotta do the idle screw as well, which is fine because it's just preset and you're not gonna know. I mean, not you, but they don't know what it's gonna idle, so you'll have to adjust it anyway. So like I said, I'm gonna take this off. At least that's my plan, is not to use it. There. Once you take those screws off, this just comes off. Now, my luck, when I go to put the cable on, something's going to be jacked up, and I'll have to probably put that bracket back on. But we'll see when we get there. But if this works, for 12, 13 bucks for a whole kit, that's actually not too bad. We'll see how it goes. Even if it only lasts for a season, it's going to be a lot cheaper switching these out than buying whole new carbs, you know, from Honda. Alright, I'm going to turn this in just a little bit. I'm going to try to eye it back where it was. Basically, you can just turn it to, I don't know if you can see it, where there's an opening down there. But like I said, once we get it running, we can fine tune it. We just don't want it to, you know, scream. It's better to have it where it doesn't idle and you adjust it up than have the idle too far open and then it goes crazy. Alright, let's figure this gas tank out. Alright, what do we have? What do we have? Actually, it looks like you can't even tell. You don't know what it looks like because you can't see it. Anyway, it looks like the gas tank is held on right here just with this little bracket that goes on there, and also at the bottom, same way. So looking at it really quick here, looks like all I have to do is take off the recoil.
And then that would, man, this camera guy sucks, I tell you. That's what happens when you're trying to do the camera guy and the repair guy. Anyway, I'm gonna take off the recoil here. Once I take that off, I should be able to lift this up. Gas tank should come out fairly easy. Like I said, it's gonna stink like you know what. So let's give this a try. All right, there we go. So this is 8mm. It's a little wobbly. All right, we're going to take these off. All right, so when you take it off, you don't have to worry about it. It's all held up. If you got to replace the ropes, take it off. It's fairly easy. So nothing to be concerned about. It looks like it's leaking a little bit of oil around here. It looks like it dripped down. Doesn't look like it's leaking from this seal, so if anything, it may just be this O-ring. All right, so now that we have the recoil off, we can take this little bracket off. And then the gas tank should just lift up. There we go. There we go. You can see these are pretty hard. All right, so here's the stinky gas. There's gas in there. So I'm gonna go dump that out real quick. You can see the fuel line that's down in there. Also, see if I can get a good angle. There's the attachments to it. So I'm gonna try to take this out without damaging it. It did come with another one, but it's not exactly the same. So I'm gonna try to reuse this one. But we'll get, okay, dumped out the bad fuel in there. It's nasty. Let's just put that, I'm surprised it's not green and all that good stuff. So the fuel filter came out, but as soon as the hose, I mean, I'll show you in a minute, but it's completely, it just pulled apart. So this thing's been sitting around a while. You probably want to go ahead and replace all the stuff like I'm doing. So I'm just trying to get this out without damaging it. Using a screwdriver slowly around it to break it. It's like a big rubber grommet. There we go. See, you just kind of pull it out. And you'll see here, that's where the fuel filter was. It's like this. You know, here's the new one. It'll be down here. It's probably another 4 inches that were on there, but this hose is so nasty, it just literally just pulled off, fell apart. So I want to reuse these clips, and now remember, I'm gonna have to go get that other one because it has a clip on it still. So I'll leave that one right there for now. Looks like it comes out better the other way. So what I'm trying to do is not really grab this side of it where the hose goes on. I did at first, but then I thought about it and probably shouldn't. Okay, so once I got that out, remember it goes in the tank like that, so they look about the same. And obviously this would probably go in easier if you put some grease on it, you spit on it, talk dirty to it. Try and do it dry. If it doesn't go well, I'll get some lube. There. You don't need no stinking lube. There you go, it's in there. As tight can be. All right, so that's the one with the larger hose. So let's go ahead and put one on. We're gonna have to cut it anyway. So the larger hose is this one, larger diameter that is. So we'll go ahead and
I guess I should put this on first. And remember, I don't know if you can tell on the thing, but there's a lip on the outer side. This will go on the outside of the tank. So I'm going to put this hose on here just so I don't get them confused once I take the other one off. And then I'm going to have to cut it to the same length that the hose was with the fuel filter on it. So I'm just pushing it down on the table so you learn things as you go. Oops, take the hose off. This one I could probably reuse because it's not hard, it's still soft. But I'm going to try to use this one. And now that I think about it, hoping it fits. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Alright. Trying to see if these are directional. They look exactly the same. Alright, here we go again with no lube. What's our safe word? Everyone has a safe word, right? No safe word. Oh well, just gotta keep going with it. There. No lube and no safe word. That's what I'm talking about. It's a party now. Alright, remember, this one did not have a hose coming down. When I pointed in the tank to show you guys, this one didn't have a hose. So the only hose that'll be on here is for the fuel filter. This one does not have a hose, which means that's the thinner hose. So we'll leave that like that for now. Alright. Let me go get that other hose so we can... This is how long the fuel hose technically was. Like that. So we'll go... and it smells bad. That's why I was saying I'm surprised it's not green. That's how bad it is. Because you know anything that's green smells. Wait, my gloves are green. Alright. So we're just going to get a rough idea of the length. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't want it too long. Because they'll just, you know... You don't want it to kink up in the tank. So we're going to cut it there. Get this other clip. No, watch. Look at that. That's how easy this breaks off. So as it sits in fuel, this tiller wasn't yeah. Say that 10 times fast. This tiller is not mine. So it sat with a neighbor for a long time. Then I borrowed it and didn't run. So then it sat with me for a very long time, and I said, well, I'll get it going. Well, now I need it, so here we are today. Trying to get this on far enough where I can put the clip. Kind of tight again. Yeah, there we go. So now, just for me to know, remember this was the bigger diameter hose. Here's the smaller diameter hose. So I'm going to put the larger diameter hose back on this end. Let's put the, get this clip off. Got the two clips on, the larger hose. And remember, this hose in the tank doesn't need one. So I'm going to put the smaller hose on last. Alright. Crap. I just remembered I should flush this out. Yeah, there's crud in there. Hold on. I'll be back. We're going to go flush this. Okay, here we are. So I cleaned out the tank. Oh crap, I thought I didn't. I just seen more dirt in there. Anyway, I cleaned out the tank. When I say flushed it, basically just put some gas in it. Splashed it around and put the gas in a different container. But as I look in here, there's still more crap. But now what we're going to do is put this back in here. So you just snake that in there. And I'm hoping to get this in the hole, but man, don't know if it's gonna work. We'll give it a try. You know what? This time though, I'm gonna use a little bit of lube. You know what the safe word was? Harley Davidson oil. Yeah, that's the safe word. Try to say that really fast in the heat of the moment, huh? So yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of lube. If a little bit of oil gets into the gas, it's not gonna hurt it. It might just smoke a little bit like a Harley, right? All right. Not hating on Harleys. I'll ride anything. Yeah, that damn thing's not gonna fit in there. See, what do you expect? It comes from China. And you expect it to work, right? All right, I got it lubed. I'm gonna give it a try. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna put in the other one. I really don't think this is gonna work. Man, it's not gonna work. All right, we're gonna switch. Okay, so off camera, behind the scenes, tried to fit a little more. And it didn't go in, so I'm taking it off. We'll put that old one back on. Yeah, it's way too, the hole's way too small. So we'll push these back through. Alright, so remember, this is in the fuel tank, so as it comes up, this will be on the outside. And remember, this is the stock one, the one that came on it. Matching up the large ones, remember. And I'll cut the length once I get it all lined up to the carburetor, since that routing is different. Or the one had elbow. All right, let's try this again. Stick this in the fuel tank. And when we took this off, this one without the hose was to this side, so I'm just putting it back on that way. And if you use a screwdriver like I am, be careful not to cut it. I'm just using it, pushing with my fingers more than pushing with the screwdriver. Just trying to get that lip started in there. Yeah, that's good. I guess there's a little bit of residue left over. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the tank on just to make it a little easier. Actually, it's not gonna make it easier. I'm gonna put the fuel line back on here. The small one, remember. All right, there. This is the small diameter one. Okay, so let's get this tank on here. Remember, the two go down in here. What the hell is that? That was nothing to do with the tiller. That was junk I have underneath it. All right, this bracket goes back on there, and it's, you know, rubber mounted, so just make sure it's all the way down in there. There we go. This goes back on. And I usually pull it, just make sure it's engaged before you start tightening stuff down. Okay. Okay, so here we are back at the carburetor. So, all that extra stuff we did, that was just to replace your fuel lines. So, remember, this is the black hose that used to be black. So they route up through here. This is the larger diameter hose. This is the smaller diameter hose. We will cut these once we get the carburetor up close by. All right, so once again, I'm gonna reuse this gasket. Why? Why not? It's not busted, it looks good. You could use this one. This one actually looks a little thinner. This is the Amazon China carb. Oh, this one I want to check. The fuel mixture screw. Let's just see where they had it set. So I'm going to turn in slightly. So there's 1 turn, 2 turns. So it looks like it's 2 1/4 turns. So there's the quarter, 1, 2. Okay, so I put it back where it was. So remember that, guys, 2 1/4 turns. So when we get this running up to normal operating temperature, I'm gonna play with this. And to get it where it idles and runs smoother, we'll see if it affects anything. Not sure how it does on this. Usually on motorcycles, I usually do about 1 turn to maybe turn and a half out and go from there. These things, I have no clue. So I'm just gonna go with what they had. We'll trust the Japanese, or the Chinese, right? All right, so I think I'm gonna put this in here for now. Maybe it'll be a little easier. You can go like this and pull it in and see how, let's try that again. It's gonna be like this, and you're gonna put it in and pull it through. If you do it the other way, if you put the cable in like this, you're not gonna be able to pull it through. You might be able to get it to stay, like, well, not like that. You might be able to get it to stay like that and adjust it, but what's gonna happen is it's gonna vibrate and come out. So just make sure you put it in there where it recesses in. Got the bolts going through. Gonna put this that you can't see. All right, so since I did the cable already, and I'm just gonna put this right here. So what I'm doing is I'm tightening the back, and you need to snug both. This isn't good practice, but I'm just using needle nose pliers to hold it just a little bit, and that's plastic, so don't go crazy. Remember, this one that was on the inside of the engine, towards the engine, is the thicker one, which goes to here. So remember, the other one had a 90 degree, so how about we cut it about there? Well, that might be too much. Maybe like that. And like I said, I don't know where those clamps went. I think that's what fell on the ground, because I don't see them anywhere. All right. Guess that one looks pretty good. We'll cut that one about there. There you go. They just slide on there. All right, let's put this back on. Remember, make sure this O-ring gasket doohickey thing is there. All right, this right here, the hose right here, make sure this goes inside the hose. This hose is actually kind of stiff. So at the end of this video, we'll go ahead and give this a try. We'll go in the back field and tear up some ground and see what happens. I'll get it running first, and then if it runs, we'll go out there. If it doesn't run, back to the drawing board with this stock carb. Remember, all this is plastic, so don't go crazy. You can look behind, make sure that it's sealed up. That's snug. Make sure your choke works. All right, that works. And keep the choke on just so nothing falls in there. So you got the air filter here. Let me back up. It came with 2. And these holes, you're gonna stick in however it goes. I guess like that. Excuse me, stinky gas is getting to me. So you got the air filter here. right here. This needs to have some oil on it. If you have air filter oil, you can use more oil, but honestly, I wouldn't. If you don't have any other oil, sure, use a little bit of motor oil, rub it in. Sure, you could do that, but you're going to end up having to clean it more because the motor oil will eventually, as it sits, it's going to eventually slide down and puddle at the bottom. The best thing to use is air filter, foam air filter oil. It's sticky as all get out. I'm going to go get some and I can show you guys. Anyway, on these filters, see there's holes, but when they came in, they were like this. You don't see any holes. And I'm like, okay, thanks, guys. But when you look in here, the holes are there. You just got to pull out the foam. So basically, they cut the holes in it, but the foam is still in there. So just kind of bend it. You'll see it, and then see how you can pull it out. This one busted off inside, but come to the other side. So the reason I'm pointing this all out to you is you could still install it like that, but then now you're getting extra foam that's just randomly in there, and you don't want that to happen in case it gets sucked inside the carburetor, clogs your carb. Did we get them all? 1, 2, 3. Is there one over here? Oh, look at that one hiding. Little sucker. That means one's hiding over here. There we go. Any more? Any more? I guess that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So just point that out to you guys. Let me go get some oil filter. Oil. Not oil filter oil. Air filter oil. Foam filter oil. You got it, right? Okay. So remember that whole story I told you about the oil that you put on here and you should use foam filter oil because it's stickier? Well, guess what? I don't have any. I just looked everywhere. I thought for sure I had some. The best stuff to use is the Bel Ray foam filter oil. That stuff is stickier than all get out. It's awesome. You also have to clean it. It's a little harder, but it's awesome filter. So I don't have any, and I don't feel like ordering some and waiting. So I'm going to use motor oil to stick on this. So I'll just show you guys. Like I said, it will eventually drain down, so you may have to, take it out and clean it and redo it and all that good stuff. So what I do is I'm going to use a Walmart bag. Have gloves on, I guess. Even better to do, since Walmart bags have holes in them like this, you can go ahead and use a Ziploc baggie. And then that way you can just stick it in the Ziploc baggie, move it all around with your fingers, and you're good to go. I don't have a Ziploc baggie either. So, I'm going to put a little bit on it. Can you see it? No, you can't. Man, I need to get a new camera, guy. The one I got now sucks. All right. So now we put it in there. I'm going to stick it in the bag. Just kind of rub it around. Rub it like it's a genie in a bottle. You don't need a lot. You don't want it dripping. You want it to cover it because what will happen is these foam filters, if there's no oil and you're in dirt and dust, that dust will go right through this thing and get into the engine. Maybe put a little bit right there. Oh. See, that's not bad, and you could ring it if you want, and nothing should be ringing out. If you got stuff ringing out, it's way too much. And what that's going to do is it's going to clog up. It's going to make it run rich because it's going to be less air is flowing through. So that should be good to go. It is kind of directional. All right, make sure the filter fits inside the little case. You don't want it sticking out. All right. Put the cover on. Remember these little hooks, they go underneath here. There's little slots for them to go into. Push that to make sure it's on. Doesn't come out. Seems good to go. The choke works. Wipe off your hands with that oil crap. The throttle works. All right. Recoil works. Oh, let's go ahead and do the spark plug since we're here, right? Because the kit came with a new spark plug. So if you guys don't know how to do the spark plug, I guess we'll show you. It's really easy. All right, the new spark plug came with it. It's not GKN. It's a HIPAA, HIPA. But we're going to confirm if it's the same number that's inside. May replace it, may not. Let's see what it looks like. Never had this one out before. Alright, this is a Denso, so this will be the original plug. So what do we got here? 6FSR. I'm going to keep this original plug. The reason is that the 6 going off memory represents how hot the plug is. This is a 5. This is a 6. This plug, I think, you have to Google it, fact check me. I think the lower the number, the hotter the plug. So I'm going to leave this one in here. It looks good. Yeah, it looks good. I'll leave this one in there. So if anyone needs a spark plug, got one on sale. It will even come with a, what was the other thing I was selling? Oh, these two. Buy a spark plug, get this. Buy this, get that. How about that? All right, let's gas this baby up and we'll give it a try. All right, I put gas in it. We're gonna go give this a try. I have not tried starting it. It may take a little while. We'll go ahead and adjust the carburetor as well. We'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, let's do the primer. Primer button's there for a reason. Okay, we're gonna go with that. So what I've learned, I've never adjusted one of these before. Can't do it at idle for the fuel mixture screw. I was doing it wide open to get the most performance while it's running, and you could hear where it would die and it would go better. So I'm gonna turn that in slightly till it's slightly seated, find out where it's set, and then let you guys know. Alright, so we're going to have this a little closer. So the way I adjusted it was when it was wide open throttle, when it was warmed up, I was turning this in to see the engine RPM change, and then I was turning it out. So let's see where it's set now. This is where it was perfect, where I had a wide open throttle and I was getting the highest RPMs. So when it's in the dirt and you're tearing it up, you want a wide open throttle, so you want the most power. Anyway, this is where we're set. I'm going to look at the top up here. So I'm going to turn it in. There's 1, and that's like 3/4. So remember, when we bought this, it was 2 turns and a quarter out. For this one to run the best, it's 1 3/4. Oops. Okay, so right here we go back up to there's 3/4. We go back up there to 1. So this is where it's set for me to get the most power. So let's go try it in dirt. Alright, so here we go. Let's give this a try. We'll do it in the dirt, tear up some stuff, make sure it works under load. We'll get this thing started.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going pretty good. Gotta do the idle just up a little bit. Alright, so conclusion, this thing works pretty good. 12 bucks for this carburetor. Look at that, 12 bucks, so it's pretty good. Fuel lines, yeah, nothing's leaking. $12, man, even if it lasts a year, easy to replace. Fuel lines are going to be what the most issue is. So anyway, these Honda tillers, if you guys have never used them, they're awesome. They tear the stuff up. There's a lot of rocks in here, you guys heard it and stuff. But yeah, 12 bucks, man, can't believe it. I'm still going to clean the other one though, have it on the shelf. Okay, who's lying? I guess I am. I'm not going to clean it until I need it, so I'm going to keep it on the shelf. But this thing may work good enough. Don't even have to worry about cleaning. This thing is awesome. 12 bucks. Okay, tax, maybe it was 15. I don't know. Still, if you guys are getting ready to clean one, give it a try. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, you know the routine. Subscribe, hit that bell, whatchamacallit. Alright guys, check out the other videos. See you, bye.